There's a company that I started with that was doing 100 closings. They just hit 500 closings in a month right now. They're doing team outings. They're doing contests. Their leaders are doing one-on-ones. They're happy. They're wearing uniforms. When I came in there, it was a shit show. It looked like it was an alley. So like if I did that for that one company and they're dominating you, do you think this is worth it for you? If you call 10 new leads a single time, 10 new leads double time, you double tapped them, and 10 new leads triple tap. You call me one time, I'm like, no, I don't know who this is. You call me twice, I'm like, motherfucker. You call me 3 times, I'm like, who is this? Now I'm pissed off. But a pissed off client is better than no client. Like even those will turn into deals. We're going over Q&As today. Last month we had call clips all month long because that's what you guys wanted and that's what we brought you. I always like good questions. Show me the depth of your question and I'll show you the depth of your mind. All right, number 1 question from one of my favorite guys. His name is Craig Griffin. What up, Craig? If you're out there, hope you're doing well, brother. Hi, Alex. I would value any tips on organizing your day when you have no assistant in order to prioritize lead calling, but still get follow-up done on your deals and process. Working for a little more volume to justify an assistant. That's good. It seems like, Craig, you have your goals set up in tunnels, right? Your first tunnel is you want to dominate production and get yourself to a point where you could hire an assistant. It's a very good goal to have. Your mind's in the right place. Now, as far as prioritizing your day, you have to time block it into tunnels. So a lot of times, if you want to have a successful day, the first thing you have to understand in sales is a successful day in sales is an overwhelming day in sales. Meaning there is no great day in sales where you get off and you say, felt good today. Relaxed a little, ate a good lunch, got 2-3 deals, voicemails are clear, emails are done. I don't think those days exist, especially when you're in mortgage sales, if that's what you're talking about. I think the most successful days I have where I'm like, what the happened today? Who did I talk to? I got 4 deals? How did I get 4 deals today? So I say that to you because I don't want you to think a successful day in sales is going to be easy. It's an overwhelming day. And sometimes you have to embrace the chaos and then you have to accept the chaos. Meaning when I go into my office and I say, I want to do 4 deals today, I say, get ready to have a hectic day. You know, today I had, kid you not, my phone's on airplane mode right now, but I had calls coming in here on my phone, calls coming in on my work line. I had emails coming in at the same time. I had texts coming in at the same time. I had Microsoft Teams coming in at the same time. I was getting calls on Bonzo, Ring Central, my cell phone, Teams, all at once. My wife is asking me what I want for lunch. And like an idiot, I get upset at her for asking me what do I want for lunch and telling her like, figure it out. I don't got time to think about lunch right now. I'm overwhelmed. And like that was the last place I need to release my bad energy. But it was nerve-wracking because when you have a big pipeline and you have a lot of clients and you're closing a large volume, those days are every time. Every time I blink, I have 30 emails. But that comes with running a sustainable, successful business. If you're going to put 50 deals into processing, you're going to have a lot of emails. You're going to have a lot of calls. You're going to have a lot of people wanting to talk to you. So I just say that first to you to let you understand that you have to get ready to go into the jungle and fight the war when you want to be successful and build up your pipeline. Now, as far as tips into valuing your day and prioritizing your day, you have to set up a tunnel for yourself where you say 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. I don't give a shit what happens. All I'm focused on is front-end business. Don't want lunch. I don't want a snack. I don't want to talk to anybody in process. I don't even want to talk to a referral. I don't want to talk to my leader. I don't want to talk to a processor. I don't want to talk to my social media. I don't want to talk to my kids. Like all I want to do is 4 hours at least of a front-end rush. And how do you do that? Well, you set up a blast in the morning. You wake up a little early and you say, I'm going to send this blast email to my hot clients, this blast text to my hot clients, this blast voicemail to my hot clients. I'm going to send this to my cold clients, this to my warm clients. And I envision you sending out missiles for the day. And then you send out those missiles and you say, all right, let's go. It's about to be overwhelming as hell. I'm about to get calls. I'm about to get texts. I'm about to start dialing. 4 hours straight, nothing else. Let's go. You close your door, you turn off your phone and you go. You knock that out after 4 hours. You're overwhelmed. You should have a deal or two or at least a couple good conversations happening. Then you say, all right, let me eat my lunch. Then you say, let me follow up with my other leads. Then you say, let me check up on my process. Then it comes 4 or 5 o'clock. Then you're like, all right, let's do it again. I'll send another blast in the evening. And then I'll go another 3-4 hours to end the day off. So I think the most important thing is prioritizing your front end time and not letting anything block it. Because the worst thing you could do, Craig, is you could go back and forth and say, I'm front end. Oh, I got to check up on this. Oh, I got to do this. I got to come back to front end. Now you're fucking up your flow state, and you don't want to ruin your flow state. So a lot of good stuff in there. Hopefully that helps you out just a bit. Time block and tunnel your day. Prioritize front end savage time with just front end time, and understand that it's going to be overwhelming, and sometimes you got to create the chaos. Like my team, I tell them, hey team, you guys ready? I'm about to send out some missiles. Are you guys ready? And I'll go into their campaigns, I'll go into their settings, and I'll send out campaigns for them. No, please, Alex, don't do it. I'm about to do it. You want to be successful? You're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to get 20, 30 calls, 20, 30 messages, but at the end of the day, you'll have 3, 4 deals. And that's what it's about. And the more leads you engage with and the bigger your pipeline becomes, the more powerful that move becomes, right? Because you're growing now. It's like a game of risk. You're growing your real estate, your land. You're conquering more. The bigger your pipeline gets, the stronger those messages and that button get when you launch missiles. And that's what we're doing. All right, here's one from Chad. What's up, Chad? I'm relying heavily on auto texting. Bonzo, nice. I'm having mediocre results on 5 to 8 of the leads I buy per day. I do call anyone that responds to my text message, but those that never respond don't usually get a phone call from me. I'm doing almost no outbound calling, which I think is my problem. Give me structure around outbound calls. Should I set a time limit per day or a goal of certain amount of phone calls made? Any additional advice is appreciated. Okay, good. So number one, the only time I text somebody, well, the automatic messages will go out. But other than that, the only time I'm texting somebody is when they don't answer my calls. The name of the game has always been get them on the phone, and that has never changed. Today, I audited somebody's bonzo on my team. I said, show me your bonzo. I go into a client's hot client that they're talking to all day today. They're texting them back and forth. I'm like, you've been texting this client all day today. They text you back 2 hours later. You text them back. They text you back an hour later. You text them. There's not one single phone call in here. I said, throughout the day, you should have called them 4 times. And when the call doesn't work, then you text them back. Oh, just tried you. I guess I couldn't reach you. So let's keep texting. Oh, just tried you. I couldn't reach you. So answer me this question. The phone call should always be first. So what you need to do if you're buying leads every single day is you have to start your day every single day by at least dialing your last 2 to 3 days new leads. And then a lot of times I say do that 3 rounds in one day. So if you're buying 8 leads a day, that means 8, 16, 24. I need you to call 24 leads at 8 a.m., 24 leads at 3 p.m., and 24 leads at 7 p.m. And then Chad, I guarantee you'll get 2 deals a day because you're going to catch them at different times. And if you're not doing that, then you're losing. If you're only depending on calling who texts you, then I'd lose half my deals because there's so many people I catch in the phone call. As a matter of fact, I have thousands of old leads, and every single time I go to dial the old leads and I dial 100 of them, I get at least 5 for them to pick up, and out of the 5, I get 1. I have a bucket called clients that are not interested. And I have somebody that joined my team last week, and this person was setting up their stuff and their licensing, and then they were waiting for their phone number to get activated. I said, don't wait for your phone numbers to get activated. You want to work? Here's my not interested list. He did 3 deals for my not interested list. It was 500 people. He went through it for 3 days and got 3 deals out of it. And you know what he did? He sent the call, and then he texted when they didn't answer, and he went custom on every single one. So that's your problem, is you're not outbounding when you need to be outbounding 3 times a day to, at bare minimum, your new clients. But I'd recommend the last 3 days of clients. Because look, you have different kind of people that appreciate different kind of communication. Like I keep getting these spam calls on my phone. They're crazy. Medicaid and student loans and this and that. Either somebody with me and put my number somewhere and they're like, here you go, Ace. You want to train those credit trigger guys? Take a bit of your own medicine. Somebody put my number in, or they're just calling everybody right now and they got my number. But yeah, I still answer. Why do I still answer? Because I don't know if every number that's calling me is actually spam or it's somebody important. So although I'm hanging up in their face because they're not any good and they're not telling me anything I'm interested in, and I truly believe they're spam, if there was something that's good, maybe they could keep me on the phone. So when you're calling these people and they answer you, some people got Bluetooth in their ears, some people are on another line. You could even take it a level further and say, like, double tap them every single day. Like, that's another thing. If you call 10 new leads a single time, 10 new leads double time, you double tap them, and 10 new leads triple tap, right? You call me 1 time, I'm like, no, I don't know who this is. You call me twice, I'm like, motherfucker. You call me 3 times, I'm like, who is this? Now I'm pissed off. But a pissed off client is better than no client. Hey, I'm so sorry, man. I called you 3 times. It's extremely important. I got your information online for some cash out. I got 3 proposals for you. I wanted to show them to you. I'm leaving the office for the day. Just thought I'd catch you. Like, even those will turn into deals. So yeah, if you're not dialing and you're depending on text, that's not the way it goes. I only use text as a backup. Text is not my first option. And a lot of times we could fall into those lazy holes and say like, yeah, texting, I want it to be nice and cozy. They're ready for me. They want to talk to me. Like, no, that's not the name name of the game. The name of the game is call anybody and everybody. And as soon as they answer, you get them interested in working with you. And that's what it needs to be. So hopefully that helps you, Chad. And try it out and let us know how you do. I'm pretty sure you'll get a deal tomorrow, even after this call. Christopher, what is your approach to building rapport with potential borrowers quickly? So how do you build rapport with clients very quickly? I think that there's a lot of different open doors to build rapport with clients, and it depends on what door you want to go into. How do I build rapport with you very quickly? I don't know. Do we talk sports? Do we talk sales? Do we talk kids? Do we talk struggle? Do we talk opportunity? Do we talk real estate? I don't know, but you know how I'd find out? I would throw a couple things your way. I'd say, yeah, have you ever thought about real estate? And then you could either tell me like, yeah, man, I've been thinking about it a lot actually. Oh, perfect. Let's go into the real estate door. So you ever thought about real estate? You're like, no, not really, man. Don't really have time. Okay, let's move on. Got any kids there? Or is it just you and the wife? I got 3 kids. Oh, let's go into the kids door. Now I could share stories about my kids. If you say, no, I got no kids, I'm single, living alone. Let's go into the single door. Maybe you want to talk about single. Oh, you're single. How you liking that, man? 35 single, you live in the American dream. You got the freedom. How's it going? Grass is always greener, or is it not? If you joke around with me about that and talk, maybe I could talk to you about that. So it's like the way to answer your question, how do you build rapport with borrowers very quickly, is you got to throw out different things out there. It's kind of like you're fishing. You're throwing in different worms. You got to see which one bites and then start reeling it in. So you throw out feelers and then you see which one they're interested in. Similar to going on a date when you talk to a girl or a guy and you're like, yeah. So I love Netflix. Have you watched that new show on Netflix called This Is Us? Don't ask me why I watch that show, by the way. This Is Us? No, I haven't. I don't really watch TV at all, actually. I wish I had time to watch TV. Oh, come on. You never watch that show? How about this show and that show? Like, I'm talking to you about shows you didn't even watch TV. So I'm going to move on to the next topic, right? Have you ever, traveled? Yeah, I love traveling. Perfect. Let's go into that door. So that's what you need to do. You need to get good at throwing feelers. Then you sense it. You're like, all right, I feel this one. Keep going. I don't feel this one. Move on. And then you end up getting something the more you throw. How do you differentiate yourself from other brokers when presenting your services? This is something I've been working on as I've been onboarding a lot of salespeople to different companies. And what I'm working on is focusing on their personal brand. Okay. What's their personal brand? I don't know. What is your personal brand and what do you stand for? For me, my personal brand it's Alex Sharafity, and I've been in the industry for a decade, not only working with the top lenders in the country as an executive, but also consulting different financial lenders across the country. My job now is to work for you and find you the best lender. So rest assured, you're in the best hands possible. What were you looking to get accomplished? So I customize the perfect solution for you. So this is like a strong brand. I call it the wow, right? You got to wow them in the beginning. But I had a gentleman, he's a younger guy, maybe 21 years old. And he literally asked me, what should my personal brand be? I don't know shit about shit. I'm just learning this. I don't even have my own house. I told him that should be your personal brand. I'm 21 years old. I'm fresh into the mortgage business. I could tell you if I don't have the answer to something, I will run and get you that answer. I got a lot more energy than a lot of these older brokers that have been in the business because I'm willing to fight for your business today. And if anything I could do for you today, rest assured that I'm going to do my best possible, put my best possible efforts to put you and your family in the best spot. Hopefully I can learn something from you, and hopefully you could help catapult me as I help you. And like you send them a picture and now you're like, damn, instead of thinking it's a little kid doesn't know what they're doing, now you kind of feel bad because it's a little kid with enthusiasm and energy. And it's like, now you really want to help them and you don't want to shop them, and you kind of flip the whole thing around. I told you guys last time we had somebody that, was trying to be a firefighter, and they didn't get the opportunity because they got into an accident, and we used that as the brand. I was supposed to be a firefighter and I lost that opportunity, and now I'm doing this because this is what I want to do and help people. And like, that was a personal brand. So I'd say what separates you is really your personal story, because the personal story creates a bond with your clients, because a personal story cannot be replicated. But you know what could be replicated? I shop around this many people for you. I get you the best price. I get you the best cost. I'm going to get you the best deal. I'm going to close in 14 days. Okay. That everybody's saying, and they're hearing it over and over and over again. Something a little bit different, a little bit unique, a little bit personalized. They'll work with that. So I'd ask you, what is your personal brand? And the next question you should put in the academy should be your personal story, what you think your strengths are. And then I'll comment back on it and tell you what I think your personal brand should be if you haven't thought of something yet. What's your most effective way to generate referrals from satisfied clients? I have 2 ways. I have an automated way and I have a real way. My automated way is as soon as I generate a client, they get a congratulations email at the end and a congratulations text that tells them I'll always check up on them. A picture of the family again. Thanks so much for letting me help your family. So a nice little thank you message. And then, I really want to help somebody in your family and friends the same way I helped you. Please send me one person that you know that I could reach out to. That goes out right after they're closed. Then I have it go out again 1 month later. Then I have it go out again 2 months later, 3 months later, 4 months later, 5 months later, 6 months later. It's an appointment for me to call them and check up on them. And I might do it on the phone or try to help them again. So that's an automated approach to keep your referrals coming and keep the messages automatic. So that way referrals just start falling into your lap. There's also the approach on the phone, which is I don't just do this with clients that I help. I also do this with clients that I don't help. With clients that I don't help, I'd say like, hey, I know I couldn't help you out today. I really apologize for that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep you on the top of my mind and keep your file on my desk. I'm not going to throw it over the shoulder. I'm going to make sure that I continue to check on you and look into this situation until I find something that works for you. Do me a favor here. Who do you have from your friends or family that I can reach out to and help out? I know I can't help you today, but I promise I'll help you soon. Who needs help that you know? And now it's like you're looking out for them and you're going to help them. So now they're going to help you. I call it squeezing the juice out of the lemon, trying to get every single last bit of juice out of something before you let go of it. And then if it's somebody I helped, I'm like, yo, Chad, you know, I just answered your question on this weekly call. I'm also going to reply to your comment and help you with a personal brand. Anything you need in the future, I got your back. I know you know somebody that needs Acez Academy, bro. Who's one person you know that you could text right now in a group chat and tell them to sign up? I don't know. Chad, you don't know one person out there that needs help with their mindset or sales? Brother, sister, cousin, friend, neighbor, coworker? Yeah, okay, give me one person, brother. Who do you got? Text him right now and tell him join the academy. He's missing out. Like if I could go face to face with you guys right now, I would do that with every single one of you. And are you guys going to tell me no? It'd be pretty up if you tell me no. So like when you help somebody, that's what I say. I say, look, I just helped you out, man. I'm very grateful for the opportunity. And like I told you, I wouldn't let you down. I got time to call one person today. Who's one person you know from your friends or family that really needs help? It's a crazy world right now, man. This is the time to get help. Who do you know that I can help out for you? And then I jump straight into that with them. The issue with referrals has never been getting referrals. The biggest issue that salespeople have with referrals is there's not one salesperson I know that consistently asks on every single phone call or every single interaction for a referral. Even realtors, some of them would call me. I used to talk about one that called me every month. He hasn't called me in 8 months. Fell off. So referrals is just making it a habit and not asking for it, you know, in a weak way, asking for it with confidence and demanding it with professionalism because you're there to help somebody. Can you share some key techniques you use to convert leads into clients? Yeah, I could share key techniques. I mean, if you're in the academy, you probably know all my techniques because I talk about them every single week on these calls. I guess there's not one technique to convert clients into leads. I think it's everything. It's all the small inches combined together. And what are those small inches to make clients or to make leads into clients? Well, one of them is, you know, strong personal brand. Another one is strong follow-up. A third one is land, air, and sea communication, emails, voicemail, text. Fourth one, and most important one, is creating a relationship with them and making concrete emotional benefits. So the presentation is based off of their emotions. There's also, you know, keeping that professional with a process, crisp and professional with communication throughout the whole thing. Like, you know, people always tell me like, yeah, man, well, you say you text, call, and email someone 3 times a day. Isn't that pretty annoying? Actually, 95% of the time I get compliments, and 5% of the time I get people that are upset. And you know what? Those 5% of the people I'd rather lose, and I'd keep the 95% of people happy that are happy with my communication because I believe in what I do and I help people. So I think it's all of that. I think it's the follow-up, the presentation on emotions, the building relationship, the strong introduction, the land, air, and sea communication, the personal brand. I think all those things help you convert a client. It's not just one thing that helps you. It's all of them combined together, which is in a lot of things in life when it comes to success. It's the small things that add up. What systems or CRM tools do you use to manage your pipeline and track leads? So I have an Excel tracker that I use that I created myself that has drop-down menus in it. And, you know, I funnel people to different things and I could like click what I want to look at. And then I could upload those into like a 5-9 dialer. If you don't have 5-9 dialer, it's like it dials 5 people at one time and whoever answers first, it puts you on them. So it's a fast dialer. So I would put those leads in there and I would just start dialing out for them. And then as far as like managing anything else, I use, you know, Bonzo, MailChimp, you know, for mass campaigns. And I have different buckets of clients there, hot, cold, warm, and any other categories that I choose. But those are the main things. I mean, there's a lot of different tools you could use, but it's not even about the tool again. It's about staying consistent with that tool, you know? Like for example, I told you guys that I gave somebody the non-interested leads, 500 of them, and he made 3 deals out of those. But guess what? I had a whole team of people that had access to those. How come nobody ever messed with that list? Because it says client not interested in it. Since when does client not interested mean they're not interested for life? How many times do you think you're not interested in something and the next week something happens, you're interested? You know, somebody tells me, you want to buy a tire today? I'm like, no, I don't. They slash my tire. The next day, oh, I guess I need a tire. So a lot of times people don't need cash right now. They get a ticket, something bad happens, adversity comes through, and it's like, damn, they need cash 4 weeks later. You call them at the perfect time and you're right there for them. So a lot of these times you could find these tools and use the Excel sheet or the Bonzos or the CRMs or Salesforce Relentless or MailChimp or whatever it is that you use. Klaviyo is a new one that I've been using for the Academy, which is probably what you're getting messages with. It's called Klaviyo. That's pretty sweet. But again, it's about using them and creating the habits. It's more about execution than the system. There's so many systems and they're all great. It's the execution of the system. How do you organize and prioritize your daily tasks to ensure consistent productivity? Well, let me look at my schedule. So, I mean, when I'm writing deals, my 4 biggest tasks of the day is daily blasts, exhausting my hot clients, exhausting my new clients, exhausting my cold clients, and following up with my whole pipeline. So like that's 5 things I write down every single day. You can't read my handwriting probably, but I circle them every single day and then I cross them out as I go. I start with the new, then I go to the hot, then I go to the cold, then I go to the follow-up, then I go to my pipeline. And every single day, those are the 5 things I need to do to ensure productivity, and they get done every single day. And sometimes it takes longer than other days, but it also works. You guys could hear me, right? Yep. Raise your hand if you can hear me just to make sure. Sometimes this mic goes out. All right, cool. I see the hands up. Just wanted to make sure. I got scared for a second because I felt like it froze and then my mic stopped working. All right, cool. Let's go back. How do you organize and prioritize your daily tasks to ensure consistent productivity? I guess that's the same exact question as the last one. What tech tools or automation have been most valuable in streamlining your process? Also similar to the last question. Automation for a new client. They're getting messages, voicemails, emails. Automation for hot clients. Automation for cold clients. 21-day campaigns, 30-day campaigns, 60-day campaigns, 90-day campaigns. Clients that I work with campaigns, referral campaigns, campaign and everything. How do you manage time between applications, follow-ups, and prospecting? I don't. And a lot of times I have 3 people on the line and I'm going back and forth with those people. And then I got somebody on my cell phone here. And that's usually how I do it. It's very overwhelming. Like I said in the beginning, it's very chaotic. Like I said in the beginning. So a lot of times I have to put somebody on hold as long as I could trust it. It's not a delicate situation and I'll answer the next call, or I won't answer somebody and I'll text them, or I'll have my assistant call them and I'll make a list for my assistant of things to do. But if I don't have an assistant, I'm handling it myself. So I think I try to time block these things. Like I said, I'm working on them in funnels, but a lot of times you finish your applications, you go to your follow-up, the application calls you back. You got to go back to that, pause your follow-ups, answer the application, go back to follow-ups, or say, no, I'm going to finish my follow-ups completely. Then I'll go back to applications and call. Then I'll move on to prospecting. So if you tunnel it out and every time you finish a tunnel, you could go back and clean up side items and go to the next tunnel. I think that's the most efficient way to do it so you could stay in a flow state as you're going. What kind of software or templates do you use for document collection or loan processing? Look, I say anything that you have to send more than one time, you should create a template for. Meaning if you have to send your brand to every single client, you create a brand template, you copy paste it. If you have to create a email that tells somebody how to log into your website and do something, create a template for it. If you have to create a text that explains the way your process works to somebody so they're well engaged, create a template for it. So I would say you should never do something twice. Like if you're constantly sending a recap email to your prospect after you talk to them and you keep typing it out again, you're just doing repetitive work that doesn't need to be done. Instead, create a template that has different boxes for you to fill out, and you just change the boxes and your signature's there, the introduction's there, what you need is typically there, and you just keep using that template over and over again. You got to make things easy while you're in sales, and this is one of the most important things to do, is create a systematic approach where you have a system and a template for everything. Can you walk me through your process from lead generation to closing? So process from lead generation to closing, getting the lead client on the phone, creating a relationship, spending about 20-25 minutes with them to figure out their goals, customizing a solution for their goals, pitching them the option. Right after the pitch comes the email and the text explaining the pitch. And if I get the deal, comes the email and the text explaining the process. And then they're getting an email and a text at least every single week explaining the next step of the process all the way till they get to closing. Then they're getting a referral email and a text, like I said, every month until the 6-month mark till I meet with them again. If I don't generate the deal on the first call or the first interaction, then they're getting followed up from me at least 1, 2, or 3 times a day until I get them. I'm going to try the weekends, the evenings, the morning. I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at them until I get an answer, and I either get an answer or they get withdrawn. How do you ensure your clients understand every step of the process? Same exact thing. They're getting emails, they're getting texts. There is no reason why anybody shouldn't understand anything of the process because they're so well informed that I will even tell them, did you see the text I sent you? Make sure you read that email I sent you. That's a good question. It's highlighted in there. I'll even pivot them back into the damn email to read it and know that they know the process. So yes, I'm creating templates steps and a process for every step of the way. How do you handle challenges that arise during underwriting or closing process? You're going to have challenges with anything that you sell that has to do with qualifications. And when you get those challenges, one great way is to set up a backup plan or a plan B. So a lot of times, and this is like I talk about it a lot, and it's a very powerful tool. So if you're listening to this, listen real well. In life, there's affirmations and affirming good things in your life, but there's also preparing for the worst. And one thing I got very good at was preparing for the worst. So what I mean by that is if you're doing something like a mortgage, you say, you told me your credit score is here. If the credit score ends up being here, we might have to go this route. If it ends up being here, we'll go this route. That's one example. You told me the valuation is here. Good news, if the valuation is there, we could do this. But just in case the valuation comes lower, we could still do this, this, and this. And it still makes sense. You told me that your spouse is on board. Just in case they're not on board, just so you know, we're going to have to get them on board. What would it take to get them on board in case they say no? So a lot of times I try to create plan Bs and say like, look, here's the 3 or 4 things that could go wrong. If these things go wrong, what are we going to do? And now you're problem solving with the client before they even enter process. Now, some people say,
well, yeah, Ace, I don't really want to scare the client and let them know the negatives.
Well, look, if you're a professional, you can make that sound good and say, look, a lot of people are just going to throw you into process, promise you the moon and stars, and then, cross their fingers, hope to die, and hope they never tell a lie. I'm not that kind of person. I want to make sure that this closes, and I want to go through all the avenues with you to make sure that you know what to expect along the way as the best case scenario, the average scenario, and the worst case scenario. You mind if I go through those with you right now? Oh, I would love that. Of course they would love that because they're like, this person's not screwing me over. So plan Bs, plan Bs, plan Bs, and I don't mean the pill. That's what's going to help you save deals, is creating plan Bs and plan Cs and plan Ds. That way the client knows you're a professional and you have their best interests in mind no matter what happens. What's the most critical part of your follow-up after the deal closes? The most critical part of follow-up after you close the deal is the consistency of the follow-up. If you just send one message or a holiday automation on Christmas and somebody else calls in between, that deal's gone. But if you constantly remind them, hey, I'm still here. Hey, I'm still here. Hey, I just had my babies. Hey, Merry Christmas. Hey, this just changed in the industry. Does this change anything for you? Hey, how are this going? Hey, how's Timmy doing? Hey, how's this? If you just build a consistent follow-up process with the person, they'll come to you forever. So the most important part of the follow-up process for a client that you already closed is going to be keeping it consistent where they never forget you. How do you stay organized when handling multiple applications at different stages? So I have a tracker that I use, and inside that tracker, it has a to-do list. And every single time I get a to-do list, either writing it down on my planner in the to-do section, or I'm writing it down there and I kind of got to cross everything off before I leave so I don't forget anything. So I always tell people one of the best things is just like a pen and paper in front of you and just write down every single action item you have and don't forget it and make that a habit, and then make sure you don't leave your desk so you cross everything off, or you move things to the next day, then you got to cross them off the next day. So I'd say the good old fashioned pen and paper would work for this as well. What's your system for following up with leads who don't initially respond? My system for following up with clients that don't respond is get them to respond. That's when you got to turn into a bounty hunter and say, what's one thing I could tell this client to get them to answer? Hey, is this Ace or do I got the wrong number? Hey, I want to make sure that I'm not sending this to the wrong address. Is this your address? Or hey, have you heard of a rate as low as $4.99? I have that available today. Answer me by putting the letter of the situation you're in. A, you're already working with somebody. B, somebody told you don't qualify. C, you're not interested. Or D, you just haven't had any time. I'll get an answer on that sometime. Hey, I know it's 8 p.m. about to leave the office. I really want to make sure I talk to you before I leave. Do you have time to chat now? Next morning. Hey, it's been 6 days, James. I'm not the bill collector, man. I'm just trying to help you out. Do you want to talk to me or should I stop bothering you? So every single day, it's a new message and a new technique to try to get you to answer. To a certain point, it gets to 7 to 10 days. And I'm like, all right, let's just let it go automated, right? And if you answer, you answer. And then those automated messages are set up the same exact way. So that's my game. I pretend that I'm getting paid to get them to answer. What would I do? And that's what I try to do. How do you stay in touch with past clients to generate repeat business? We went over that already. How do you nurture long-term relationships with real estate agents and referral partners? This is good. I actually have a meeting tomorrow with a real estate company that has over 100 realtors and they do over 150 deals a month. And I got a meeting with them tomorrow. Ask me what my angle is going to be. I can't tell you yet because I don't know what my exact angle is going to be. I have a couple different options of where I could go. What's one route I could do? Well, one route I could do is I could start sending all my purchase business their way, show them a favor of sending them business, and then tell them, look how much business I sent you over the last 2 weeks. If you want a high volume place that can not only get you business, but handle your business, I'm your guy. And I'll prove my service through the business I send them and the communication. And then I'll take that to them in a nice box with the ribbon on top. I'll say, here's what I did for you guys in the last 2 weeks. You guys want to work with me now? Or I could come in from a consulting approach, ask them some questions and say, look, after examining your business, I think 3 things that would help you out is this, and this for your culture. What if I help you with those things and you start sending me your business? Or I could even go the route of send me the loan estimate for what you're getting. Let me make sure you're getting the best deal. And then I find holes in that and I find better programs for the client. Or give me your dead list of clients. Let me show you how I make that happen. Or hey, your social media sucks. Why don't I help you with your social media? Or hey, let's go out to lunch and discuss your social media. And then I create a relationship with them, make them like me. So I have this mortgage course coming out in the first quarter, and I have a whole course just on realtors. It's going to be sick. I'm talking about this realtor course is like at least 5 hours worth of videos and templates and booklets and everything you need. So it's going to help, but it goes over a lot of these different strategies to help a realtor. The realtor either has something missing, meaning you look at the realtor's brand, you say they're missing this. How could I complement it? And then you go in and you complement that missing thing and they'll appreciate you. So something missing, you find it and you show up with that missing thing. Or something important. You know, it's very important to the realtor to not miss out on any deals. So you show up and you show them how they'll never miss a deal again working with you, because you're going to funnel it all the way through and make sure if you don't get it, you're going to get it ready for them to get. And like you show up that way and you show up for something important. Or you get their business through consistency and you're like, look, I can't get your business today. Here's what I'm going to commit to doing for you. And within 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or maybe even 18 weeks, I'm going to show you why I'm worth it. And then you put in the work to be consistent. So yeah, it's hard work and it's dedication and it's consistency, but the best way it's going to work for you is showing up and giving them something they need or they're missing before asking for anything in return, because it's almost impossible for them to tell you no after you do that. And that goes for anything in life, anybody you're talking to in life. What do you say or do to bring a client back into the conversation where they hesitate or go cold? Similar to my last response, I say whatever the hell I need to say to get them to respond, and that could be all those things I went over with you guys here 5 minutes ago. What are the most common objections you face and how you overcome them? I believe in squashing objections as before they even arise. So I'm constantly squashing objections throughout the phone call and I'm not waiting to get them. But like the most common objection, it depends on where you're talking. If it's the academy, like for consulting companies or doing public speaking, the most common objection I get is usually the cost, because I charge high ticket. And the best way I overcome that objection is with the value, right? I let them weigh out what does the cost you and what is the value? Well, the value is a culture that's going to change your company forever. It's not just a 1 month thing. This is things I'm going to implement for your company that your whole company will change. Look at these last 3 companies I work with. Like, they don't even need me to work with them anymore because their whole company has transformed. There's a company that I started with that was doing 100 closings. They just hit 500 closings in a month right now. They're doing team outings. They're doing contests. Their leaders are doing one-on-ones. They're happy. They're wearing uniforms. When I came in there, it was a shit show. It looked like it was an alley. So like if I did that for that one company and they're dominating you, do you think this is worth it for you? You know, if I'm talking to a client for a mortgage and they tell me like the biggest objection I get is, you know, the interest rate, I put that on a weight scale. I say, look, I know the interest rate and I know it's going up a little, but answer me this. What's more important, the interest rate going up or your payment going down? Isn't the interest rate the goal of it for the payment? So if your payment overall is going down $800, what's more important? Seeing a pretty interest rate on a piece of paper every month or seeing $800 cash come into your hand every month? You know, so I think that's a philosophy called, you know, the weight scale, where you put your product or service here, which weighs heavy, and then you put the objection here, which is very light in comparison. Do you set hard deadlines for goals that you have? I write myself a letter every single year, and in that letter, it's my 2025 self talking to my 2024 self, and I tell myself the way I envision the year to go, and then I read or listen to that letter every single day, and then by the end of the year, almost everything's accomplished in that letter. I don't set deadlines for goals because a lot of times my biggest problem, this is me talking to you with vulnerability personally, is sometimes I'm too much in a rush where sure as shit I could finish things and I could finish a heck lot of things, but they won't be done right. For example, I could have launched this mortgage course was supposed to launch 6 to 8 months ago, but I'm not just going to launch a course just so I could launch it and cross it off the list. I'm making the baddest mortgage course that anybody's ever seen on this planet, and I'm going to make sure it's something that's going to change the industry for life. So now I keep pushing that deadline because now I want it. I know the quality of it matters. But there is something that I do when, like, let's say like, all right, I've spent a lot of money or I got a bunch of expenses coming up or pissed off because I'm not number one, or I let adversity catch me in life and I'm like, life kicked my ass for 3-4 weeks and I had a bad month. Sometimes I'll get into the office, I'll look in the mirror and I'll say, mother, it's time to go, and I'll just run. And when I say run, I'll just run for 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 weeks, get into this crazy mental state. And by the end of the month, I've dominated the month. And you got to have that switch sometimes where you could turn everything off and just turn that on. And I have that switch, and it's filled with adversity and fire and anger sometimes. And I turn all of that into a switch, and I turn it on, and I just work. So that's my deadline of, hey, motherfucker, wake up, it's time to go. All right, we got through them. Come on, baby. We could get through 35 questions in 45 minutes. Come on, we did it. If you have any more questions for me, please go ahead and drop them in the Acez Academy, Ask Ace Anything community group. Join it. Make sure you follow it. Drop the questions in there. Thank you guys for coming. This has been a great one, man. It's been a great one if you're actually listening and you're actually executing, which is the most important thing. Thank you guys for your time. Have a great rest of your week.